Most people searching for a franchise type this into Google. What's the most profitable franchise in Australia? And business owners ask the same question in a different way. Why am I working so hard but not seeing the profit? In this video, I'm going to show you what actually makes a business profitable, whether you own a franchise or run your own company. Because most people don't fail because the model is broken. They fail because they stay busy, work long hours, and still don't understand where the money is really going. So today, I'll walk you through a simple 6-stage blueprint that profitable operators follow and why most others stay busy but broke. Welcome back to Courtside Conversations. We have another whiteboard lesson. You like that word? Let's do that. Whiteboard lesson today. What makes a franchise profitable and what fails? Now, if you're in business, the one word that you need to obsess about is the word profit. If you ain't making profit, you ain't doing nothing in your business. And it took me a couple of years to learn that, right? There's an old saying that goes in business. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. It doesn't matter what or how much money you turn over in your business. You can turn over 500K, a million, 2K. If your operating expenses, if you turn over $1 million and your operating expenses is $1 million, you have turned over $0 in profit. And as a business owner, your job is to obsess about profit. Profit is what is left in the account. Profit is what you can use to fund the lifestyle you want. And too many business owners do not obsess about profit, or even worse, they look at revenue. Oh yeah, I've had a $10,000 month this year, or I've had a 10K day, but they don't look at their overheads. They don't look at their expenses. And then they soon realize that they don't have any profit at all, because profit is what you can take in the bank. Profit is what's in the bank account. How much money do you have to fund your lifestyle? And what we're going to be talking about today is what makes a franchise profitable, right? We've got 23 franchisees in our network. There are certain things certain franchisees are doing to become more profitable. And funny enough, do you know what the most Google search trend is right now? Profitable franchises in Australia. That's what's popping up in Google right now. Profitable franchises in Australia. The reality is, guys, the profit of a franchise is dependent on you. Yes, the business model is impacted in some way, but it's not like you have no impact on profit. In fact, a franchisee has a huge impact on how much profit, or even a business owner has a huge impact on how much profit they can make. So when somebody is Googling on the Google search profitable franchises in Australia, that's not entirely right, because you as a franchisee or a business owner can impact your profit. We're going to be talking about the do's and the don'ts, what makes a franchise profitable, and also what doesn't. We're going to be talking about the reverse. Let's get into the first point. Key point number one, you need to know your numbers. This is basic essentials. I'm so surprised how many business owners do not know the financial numbers in their business. Like, for example, if I said to you, hey, is gross profit and net profit margin the same? And you said to me, yeah, Emile, they are. I can tell straight away, you do not know the basics of a P&L statement. If you are a business owner, you must know the basic fundamentals of how to read a profit and loss statement, revenue, cost of goods and services, expenses, and your net profit margin, right? Because net profit margin and gross profit margin, even though they sound the same, are two completely different things. The best franchise operators know their numbers inside out. They know their margins and they know their numbers inside out. You know what the failing franchisees do? They have no idea what their numbers are. They don't know how much profit they have in their account. They don't know what their net profit margins are. They don't know what their overheads are. They don't know what their cost of goods and services are. The only thing they know is, yeah, I made $100,000 in sales. That doesn't tell you anything about your business. So you need to know your numbers. I'm not going to dive deep into knowing your numbers, but I'm going to hyperlink in the show notes. I made a video, an educational video with my franchisees that explains the basics of a profit and loss and how to understand a profit and loss statement. It takes you through those 4 important metrics that you need to know: revenue, cost of goods sold, expenses, and net profit margins. It's a really good video and it will allow you, whether any business you're doing, it's going to allow you to understand the fundamentals. Click the link below or in the show notes to watch it. But number one is, if you want to become profitable, my golly, you need to know your numbers. Let's move into number 2. Point number 2, you must have an exceptional product or service. You need to be offering, whatever it is you're offering, whether it's a product or service, you need to give a tremendous amount of value to your customer. And we are in a very competitive market space. There is like 10 of everything, 10 of anything. Mechanics, there's 10 down the road. Personal trainers, there's 10 down the road. Funeral parlor, 10 down the road. Wedding service, 10 down the road. That's the world we live in right now. 2026, we're in a very competitive market space. So you must have a strong product or service, right? I get these ads all the times on my phone of these dropshipping companies and these business owners selling these products. I turned over $20,000 sending this widget. None of them are going to be around for 5 or 10 years. It's a little gimmick that has a trend and that goes down. A little bit like those fidget spinners. When I was in school, there was fidget spinners. Where are they now? Nowhere, right? So if you're going to start a business, you have to have an exceptionally strong product and service. It's no longer good anymore just to meet the customer's demand. You must exceed your customer's demand. We tell our franchisees you have to exceed parents' expectations from the moment they enroll into the program, right? Getting a phone call from the franchisee. Thank you so much for enrolling. Can't wait to have your child, Johnny. From the moment they step on the court, greeting them to their on-court experience, to when they get off the experience. Right, we hone into our franchisees that you must exceed the customer's expectation, because the reality is average just ain't doing it anymore, right? You're going to get caught out if you're average, especially in a competitive market space. A person down the road, all they have to do is just revise and get a better product or service, and then you're going to be out. So if you're going to be profitable, what makes a franchisee profitable is they have to have a strong product or service that exceeds a customer's demand. Let's move on to number 3. Okay, number 3 kind of ties into number 2, right? As a business owner, if you want to become profitable, my God, do you have to place huge amount of focus on customer service. You must obsess about your customers and delivering a really good service. So not only, if you combine these two, you have a powerhouse. If you have a really good product or service combined with strong customer service, you're going to be unstoppable. I'll give you a classic example of poor customer service. The other day, I went into a nursing home to visit my partner's uncle, right? And as we were in this nursing home, we noticed that he wasn't doing too well. Like, it was a very hot day and he had a blanket over him. He wasn't responding well. And we're like, far out, what's going on here? So nursing homes have a buzzer for the patients. We were looking for the buzzer, and I'm not going to name what this place was. The buzzer was not even in arm's length. So God forbid, if something was happening to this patient, the buzzer was like 4 meters ahead of him, right? So that he doesn't have to press it. So we pressed the buzzer and somebody came 5 minutes after. So we clicked the buzzer, somebody comes in 5 minutes after. And do you know what they greeted us with? What's wrong? What do you want? Just think about that, right? You've sent your loved one into a nursing home, spending a lot of money. You hit a buzzer, someone comes in 5 minutes after. What do you want? What's wrong? Right? Is that good customer service? Is that going to make me talking about that company positively? Probably not. I can tell you what I will be doing. I'll be saying, do not send your elderly people to this place. That's for sure. Heaven forbid, I will be talking negative about that place. Yeah, because I don't want anyone sending their place there. Good customer service. You must be there for your customers. You need to exceed your customers' demands. For us, we tell our franchisees all the time, you've got to be available for your parents. You've got to offer makeup classes because we're in the coaching industry, right? But just remember, you need to have strong customer service. A good product or service combined with strong customer service is going to make you indestructible. The other day I was speaking to a lady and she was telling me that she's run some hypothetical profit and loss numbers and she wanted to run them by me. So I said, okay, what do you have? I've calculated, Emile, the court hire fees to be about $200 an hour. And then I said, whoa, hold on. Your numbers are really off. It's like, I said, where did you get those numbers from? Oh, look, I assumed. Never assume. I've created a franchise profit calculator where you can input real numbers, court hire fees, coaches' wages, how many kids you have in the program, so you can find out what your potential profit is per class. Click the link below to use the calculator. I hope you find it useful. Okay, this one is very important. If you want to have a profitable franchise or business, you must have reoccurring revenue, right? There's a statistic that shows 70% of businesses are subscription-based businesses right now. In your product or service, I don't care what you're offering, there needs to be something reoccurring where you're getting paid by your customers, whether it's monthly, fortnightly, a quarter, whatever it is. You need to figure out a reoccurring method that you get paid by your customers. Because if your customer only has to pay you once and never again, that's going to be a tough business because you have to continuously go out and search for more work, right? And like I said before here, if we're getting very competitive, it's going to cost you a lot more money from a marketing perspective to find a new customer. It's so much more easier to have a reoccurring system where you bill your clients periodically. For us in the kids sports industry, I've got 450 kids in my area. We bill them every term, which is every 3 months. They get billed $195. So we got a steady cash flow coming into the business every 3 months that's dependable and recurring. Imagine if I just charged them a once-off fee and I never got anything from them. I'll have to go out there and bring new customers all the time. So you got to be creative and figure out for your product or service how you can create a reoccurring revenue model so that you're not fighting and looking for a new customer every single time. And the bad businesses or the businesses that are failing, they have one fee that comes in and their customer doesn't need them again. So try to build in a recurring revenue model. Okay, point number 5 of what makes a franchise or business profitable is strong LAM. What does LAM stand for? LAM stands for local area marketing, right? The reality is, guys, if you want to have a steady streams of leads coming into the business, you must be top of mind to your customer, right? The problem with marketing is business owners don't do it, or they only do it for a short period of time and they stop it. You have to be consistent with your local area marketing. A customer might not buy from you when they see your billboard, when they see your ad, when they see your flyer, but it keeps them top of mind. So when they're in that buying mode, I'm going to think of your business, right? And the best franchisees that are most profitable have got really good local area marketing strategies. They are doing periodic marketing campaigns every single quarter. You know what the ones that are failing doing? Either number one, they're doing no marketing at all because they see every marketing as a waste and every dollar is a waste, or they do it like a sprint. I'm going to do 1 month of this, and then they stop because it was too hard, or the posting was too difficult, or they didn't see results. If you want to become a profitable franchise or a profitable business owner, you must have a very good local area marketing campaign, a strategy, and it has to be consistent. If you want, I made a workshop with my franchisees, which was how to deliver strong local area marketing, because when you are creating a local area marketing campaign, for example, if I'm targeting people specifically to Belmore, which is a suburb here in Sydney, your offer that you create has to be specific to the Belmore residents. That's how you get people to take action. I'm not going to say if I'm targeting Belmore, Sydney people, I'm going to say Belmore owners, right? If you want to watch the full video, I'll put it in the show notes. A lot of our franchisees found it very useful. It talked about crafting a compelling offer for locals. So if you're a local business owner watching this video, head over and watch our local area marketing. Let's get into the next point. Okay, what makes a franchise profitable? This is underestimated, but it's probably one of the most important points. The franchisees or the business owners that are profitable have a budget. They know every single dollar that's coming into their business and every single dollar that's coming out of their business. Do you know what the business owners that aren't profitable? They don't know anything. I could bring up an expense. Hey, did you know this came into your account? Oh my God, I had no idea. Did you know your bank balance is less than $1,000? Oh my God, I had no idea. Did you know you have this $4,000 expense coming up next month that you budgeted for, but you don't have enough for? Oh my God, I had no idea. They're clueless, right? They don't know anything. I should be able to, if you're a really smart business owner, I should be able to say, hey, what was your profit and loss for last week compared to this time last year? And within 10 seconds on one of your applications, like Xero, you should be able to get the figure out, right? The best business owners that are profitable have a budget, and they stick with that budget religiously, and they make sure that every dollar that's coming in and every dollar coming out that has been accounted for. You have to get in the habit of having a budget and having everything on that list, because the reality is, if you want to become profitable, what do you need to do? You need to track your profit. How do you track your profit? Well, you track what comes in and what comes out, and you do that religiously, and you do that daily, and you watch how much more profit you would make by just tracking that number. It's like somebody that's losing weight, right? Let's say there's somebody that weighs themselves every single morning, and there's one person that weighs themselves once a week at the start of the week. Who do you think is going to lose weight? Guarantee you the person that's doing it daily, because they are obsessing about that number. They are tracking it, they are counting it, they are watching it, and they're able to make changes quicker, right? If somebody puts on weight on Wednesday, 2 or 3 kilos, they can make adjustments for Thursday, Friday, Saturday versus the person that checks it every Monday. Oh my God, I've put 5 kilos on. What's happened? You can make adjustments quicker when you're tracking the number daily. So have a budget, stick with it. Let's move over to point number 7. Point number 7, I like to call this the 1%ers. If you want to know what makes a franchise profitable, or a business owner profitable? It's the 1%ers, right? Good franchisees do ordinary things extraordinary. I'll say that again. They do the ordinary things, aka the boring stuff, extraordinary. They call up their leads within 60 seconds, right? Can you believe there was a statistic that says when a lead comes in, like let's say somebody calls you or sends you an email or inquires about your business, if you contact them within 60 seconds, you have a 7 times likelihood of converting them. How many business owners do you think call leads within 60 seconds? Oh, Emile, I'm a bit busy, I can't, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, right? Everyone has all these excuses, but it's going to bring in more work. It's going to bring in more revenue into your business. Simple statistic like that. You know what the good franchisees do? The most profitable ones, lead comes in, they get triggered on their phone, they call them within 60 seconds. Because if you call someone within 60 seconds and you give them all the information they need to make a decision whether to go with you or not, they're probably going to go with you. But if you call them back in 24 hours or 48 hours, or God knows there's some business owners that don't get back to any customers at all and wonder why they're not doing well, that customer, number one, is out of the buying journey, right? Because their highest pain point is when they submit. That's their highest pain point, when they submit a lead or when they submit an inquiry. That's their highest pain point. You contact them within 45 hours, they're out of that, or 48 hours, they are out of that buyer's journey, right? And by that time, they've probably got 3 or 4 quotes from other people, and now they're going to price beat you. They're going to beat you to the cheapest price, right? These are the 1%ers. Calling within 60 seconds, having the marketing ready, making sure you have good stuff, following the systems within the franchise. These 1%ers each day stack on top of each other and they become pretty much 100% over time. The 1%ers. If you want to become profitable, you need to do the ordinary things extraordinary. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What makes a franchise or business profitable? And on the contrary, what fails them? You've got to know your numbers off by heart. You have to have a strong product or service, combine that with good customer service, a reoccurring revenue model so that you're not fighting for new business every month, a strong local area marketing strategy, a good budget that you religiously follow, and you got to do the 1%ers. You got to do the ordinary things extraordinary. Guys, thank you for watching this video. If you found value from it, share it to a friend, leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video.